Hello, everybody. Jeff Mason from SimpleBiz360.com here today for episode 17. We're coming to you today from stlewispodcast.com, stlouispodcast.com. Alex Dietrich on the controls, making sure this sounds great, which he always does. We appreciate it. Mason Vaughn Ledbetter on the intro. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that from my loving grandson. I'm sure his little brother's going to have a chance down the road to switch places with him. So just beware. At any rate, I hope everybody's doing well. We're coming to you today, episode 17. Can't believe we're here. We're in the meat of February, and we're talking about business proof. Now, business proof is not a tool, but you can find it on pages 65 and 66 in Simple Biz 360, the book. And I really want to give a shout out, which I did back in my intro, to Lanier Business Products, because it was Lanier Business Products that taught me about business proof. If you remembered from the podcast last week, giving you a story about the Kohl's story, about what happened in Kohl's, that was a perfect situation to set this podcast up. We let facts tell the story. We had provided Kohl's with all these emails, all this information, everything they needed to see in a transparent way, the whole gamut of information, all the email trails and all the logic and all the discussions back and forth. So the interesting thing about business proof is it's something that allows you to bridge that gap between disbelief and belief and tie that together and really end up eliminating disbelief because you can prevent facts. So Lanier had a cool little thing they taught us, and it's on page 66 here in the book. And they said, hey, just remember, evidence defeats disbelief. Well, defeats, those 7 letters stood for something. So demonstrations, right? Examples, facts, exhibits, analogies, testimonials, or statistics. So taking from one of those pools of evidentiary, material, you can help a decision maker on the other side of the table look at something and say, okay, I had an eyebrow up on that. I didn't necessarily think you were telling us the straight scoop, but okay, now I see. Oh, interesting. The facts don't lie. There it is. And in that case, you can use something very, very effectively to help you with business proof. Now, I also was taught early on to put together a personal portfolio, and that as you go down your career path, should you ever need to prove to a future employer, a future, anybody, that you did this or that happened, or this did happen the way you said it did, you could pull from something like that as well. So right here, I have my own personal, this is volume 1 of my own business proof portfolio. I have all kinds of things in here that, for instance, I had an article written about one of the recruiting programs I put together. It was written by the Wall Street Journal. Well, that's in there. Everything's in there. So it's upside down here, but everything in here you can look at, and it's just, packed with information, sketches, different things we did, different things we accomplished and went about. And it's all in here. And you also want to have that. So in your business, you want to have that with you in a business capacity, because if you are a deck builder, you certainly want to have pictures of your decks that you've built and certain, how do you do corners? How do you do steps? You got close-ups, you do this or that. You want to be able to show that online on your website for certain. But you also, in this day and age of technology, not everything always works all the time. I've been in some crazy meetings. I give an example in my book of one that, technology doesn't always work when you're right on Johnny on the spot and you're there. So have a backup. Have one of these, personal portfolios in a business sense put together, have it in your car, have it with you. This way, if you need to, you can pull it out. And sometimes some people like working with it even easier, but in that, have some of those 7-letter content. So remember, defeats. So you could demonstrate something. It's hard to do in a book, but you could bring something and demonstrate how you miter your corners or whatever. There's so many different things you could do. But again, you have demonstrations, examples, facts, exhibits, analogies, which you can use, which we use quite a bit, testimonials or statistics. So, they're powerful things that you can engage in and utilize to help prove to a skeptical buyer that you're telling the truth. Now, let's focus on that and park on that for a second. There is a lot of lying going on all around the globe. Private life, public life, political life, you name it, it's out there. And so there's a lot of people who operate with one eyebrow up. They just do. They don't necessarily believe anyone, and maybe rightfully so. But you have to understand that they want to have their questions securely answered with something that they can rest on as bona fidely true. So think about how you're going to put your evidence defeats disbelief portfolio together. I suggest online, no question about it. And how are you going to put it together in print form? But it's definitely something that you want to focus on, you want to try to bring to the table. And remember to travel with it, because traveling with it's essential, because when that technology fails, you want to be able to draw on it. When we take a look at some of the things that I've been able to use it for. When I first started my sales agency, I drew from a number of different things here when I was trying to get lines. And I actually, there's tons of testimonial letters I had in my personal portfolio I was able to share with companies and, show them that, hey, listen, this is what other people say about me. And, this is what I bring to the table. And, it definitely helped them in their decision-making process. I've had some situations right now where people say, hey, I'm starting to speak, going out to Chamber of Commerce's and speak in 2020. And one of the questions that's come up is, hey, did you speak? Where can I get a, look at you, how you perform in a speaking situation? Well, you can take a look at my podcast. I've certainly been public speaking for a lot of my career, but I don't have tapes or pictures of it, but you can take a look at my podcast and you can go to my YouTube site and bingo, they go, oh, okay, wow. Oh, I see. Well, you got a lot of stuff there. So again, it kind of acts as a double, it's also educating you, but it's, it's there for people who want to know, hey, what does this guy sound like? How does he deliver? What's his content? All right, you can take a look at that. So think about how you mix it up and mix it together and put it all together. But I definitely recommend you have something you can travel with and then something you have online, and then think about the personal side of it as well. So page 65 and 66. Love to chat with you about that. If you want to email us or you have questions or we can help you in any way, we certainly will. But certainly want you to know that this is very, very good to have with you. Again, go back to that Kohl's story, and that says it all. So the Lost in the Shuffle track today, it's going to be a short podcast, is from Gordon Manzione. And Gordon suggested one, California Revisited by America, was done in 1972 on the Homecoming album. And they are a threesome, great vocal harmonies, just really kind of a folk rock, more or less feel, if you will. But they're all, I guess, children of United States Air Force employees that were over in London. So they all met each other in London and kind of started their band there. And, a lot of people know the band America. But this Lost in the Shuffle track is California Revisited from Gordon Manzione, Down Under, classmate of mine from 1976, Governor Livingston High School. Folks, thank you for your time today. Always remember, please, please, please hold on to that saying. That's your pennies, that's your nickels, that's your dimes, that's your quarters. It's your money. Don't let it dribble away. Learn how you can hold on to that. If you need help, come to us. We've got some different consulting programs we would love to talk to you about. Please feel free to get in touch with us. Definitely, we're all about pleasing customers. They pay the bills. They give us repeat transactions. They give us referral customers. So we're all about pleasing the customer. And then we're all about being safe. Just keep the shiny side up, please, when you're driving. Be careful out there. There's a lot of snow and stuff going on, so just be careful. And thanks again for joining in with us. And we will see you for episode 18 next week. Thank you so much.